Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Remember when I started this off again, I mentioned that I had projects coming up? You want to see one of them? This is my project. It's going to be there or there. Yeah, it's a Dell Dimension 4550. I inherited this one and it's a computer I really love. This is my second Dimension 4550. My first one I got from someone in my family who her place of business was getting rid of theirs, and this was a good while back, and I used the crap out of that system. And yeah, so when I got the opportunity to have a second one, I jumped at the chance because I love Dells. I love XP era Dells, and this one, I like this one a lot. For one thing, it is just delicious inside. I mean, it's very open, it's very clean, it's very simple. It has a wonderful clamshell style case that doesn't involve any screws or anything. It's completely screwless access, which again I like. Here we have a picture of the graphics card that comes with it. Now, by basic specs, it came with an NVIDIA GeForce 4 MX AGP card, which was a 32 megabyte card. This one isn't, and I don't quite understand why. I'm trying to find out, but I haven't been able to find out yet. It's what this is actually is an ATI Rage 128 Ultra 32 megabyte AGP card, and funnily enough, I've had this exact card before too. I don't know what to say. Although I'm trying to remember, because I rebuilt this computer for the person that I got it from. So it's possible that I put that card in, that it was one of my spares. I honestly don't remember, which is kind of pathetic. But I do think, well, I'll get on to what I'm thinking. So finally, next we have of all things, it has an actual modem. This is a Broadcom. It's nothing spectacular about it. It's a pretty bog standard modem. Then we have the RAM, which is actually the maximum amount of RAM the motherboard will accept. I've no idea. None whatsoever. Apparently it'll only take 1 gigabyte of RAM. I do wonder if that's accurate or not, because Windows XP would recognize up to 4 gigabytes of RAM, and I wonder if there's a BIOS update that will allow us to accept more. It's possible. I need to look into it. I'm not entirely certain. It's a question of whether it's actually a hardware constraint or a BIOS constraint, because if it's a BIOS constraint, it might be tweakable to a degree. Here we have the media setup. It has got a card reader somewhere. I think it's under a flap somewhere. It comes with a DVD and a CD drive, which is, yeah, whatever. And it comes with two hard drives. It has a Mac store. Now, I definitely installed this into that computer because this is one of my old hard drives, and it's not a great hard drive, but it's, for an IDE hard drive, it's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, the motherboard on this Dimension does not have a SATA point anywhere. But I do have a SATA card, and if it's compatible, I may use that, and rather than using IDE storage, use SATA storage through that, like dump in a 0.5 terabyte laptop hard drive or something. The second one then is Western Digital, and it's an 80 gigabyte, and again, it's okay. It's an IDE hard drive. And but I'm going to go back to what passes for an image of the motherboard. The motherboard's kind of interesting in that, first of all, it doesn't have screws to connect anything. It has a clip that goes over PCI and AGP cards to hold them in place. I love that design. It's simple, and it means that you don't need a screwdriver. It's a very simple little motherboard. There's not a lot to it. But I didn't talk about the processor yet. Well, it's a P4. It's a 2.66 gigahertz P4, which does have hyper-threading support. Going to have some fun with that. So what is my aim with this? Well, I'm going to strip it. I'm going to clean it completely. And I want to do like a little showcase of the components as I go along and talk about them in some detail. I'm also going to, like I said, I'm going to try and gather material parts and max out this system. If it's possible to increase the amount of RAM it'll take, I'm going to do that. There might be some sneaky way to do it that I'm not aware of yet, but I will find out. If there's a way, I'll find a way. I'm going to see if I can get a better AGP graphics card for it. If no other reason, then even if I can't put more than a gigabyte of RAM onto the motherboard, I might be able to put in like a half gig AGP card in and supplement the memory in that way. I'm pretty happy with the processor. I think I'm going to stick with the processor that's in it. I'm probably going to stick with the ducting that's in it, because as you can see, that big green and black lump to the kind of the center top right of the image, that's a Dell feature from that period of Dell construction, where they had an air channel that just sucked air through and cooled it. It was very effective. I'm not saying it's as effective as a modern cooling system. It's not. But for the time, it was extremely effective. And for what it had to deal with, it was more than capable. The power supply, I need to look into. I've been able to find out jack shit about the power supply, but I hope to find out more. I'm hoping to find out, because as far as I know, barring the graphics card, everything in this is stock, as far as I can tell. And I'd like to find out more about all of it if I can, because like I said, I've owned one of these before, but at the time I wasn't really a hardware person. I was a software person, whereas now I've become more of a hardware person, and I want to know more about the hardware. But yeah, this is one of the projects. This is one of the big projects that's coming up. This is going to be my XP machine, my way back when machine, so that when I want to play Morrowind or Oblivion or Unreal Tournament 99 or anything from that time period, Diablo 2, Diablo 1, good examples. I have a huge collection of XP era games that are going to be played on this machine. So that's kind of the aim with this, and I'm hoping that at some point I'll have an Elgato and I'll be able to record the footage from that without having to try and record it through the system and then, you know, cripple its capabilities, which are going to be limited to begin with. Anyway, I hope that's of interest to somebody. I hope somebody will be interested in watching it when it happens. It's not going to be today or tomorrow. It may not even be next month or the month after, but it's going to be happening in the next few months, and it's something I'm really looking forward to doing. So hopefully you'll come along for the ride. Anyway, have a great evening, be good, and bye for now.